G'day guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back for another episode of Wasteland Survival. Alright, so last week I got the majority of this train station done. There was just a few little blocks that I have kind of finished in between the episode, with exception to these of course. And also what I went ahead and done is, I was talking about these kind of steel plates sitting behind these beam blocks. And I was kind of predicting that they would be a pain to weld, but all I ended up doing was simply just walking all the way along and welding every single one of these things up. It literally only took me probably not even 5 minutes, I would say. So yeah, it actually was pretty quick because I don't think these things actually have that many steel plates. Yeah, I mean 5 steel plates. So you can weld up essentially 100 of these things with what's in your character's inventory, or at least you can in my world. So the next thing that I would like to do is build some sort of a train carriage with a welder on it, and yeah, things like that. So what I need to do is probably move this ship. I do still need this ship, so I don't know where I'm going to move it to though. Alright, cool. Yep, that will work. Nice. Okay, now let's start thinking about... Alright, I think I might get rid of this connector. I think I only really need one connector for now. And thankfully that connector was empty. Otherwise that would have been a bit of a pain. Okay, so I'll just put a line of blocks from here, and then we'll go to probably about... We have to go at least past this connector here. So we'll probably go to this point. And you know what? Even if I wasn't trying to build this welding setup... Actually, you know what? No. So I was thinking, you know, even if we weren't trying to build this welding setup and only doing half of the train, it would still hit the roof and we'd still need to build half of it down there. But I just realized I can just kind of lower these blocks down so we can just, yeah, go down a little bit. So I'm just wondering, is that far enough for the wheels to clear? Alright, we'll try it at that point. I'll get the blueprint projected. I'll put a projector, I don't know, maybe here or something. We'll get it projected, attach it to this, and we'll see where we're at. Alright, well I've got this thing mounted. I probably should have put it further forward, but it's alright where it is. It should be just fine. Unfortunately though, this is the version with these stupid little side railings, so I have to get rid of them in the blueprint, but that's alright. It doesn't really matter because all I'm going to be doing is the bottom for now. Now the question is, am I actually going to be able to clear the wheels between where they're about to be built and where these blocks are? So I think what I'll do is I'll just weld up the minimum amount of blocks required to get one of these first wheel suspensions down. And we'll see... Oh no, that's a warfare battery. I want the wheel suspension, so let's weld up this block. And then let's grab the components for that. Now hopefully we can place this wheel down. And can we add the wheel? Yep, fantastic. Alright, cool. So, yeah, that should work out really well. So once I've got this entire bottom layer done, we'll stop there, and then we'll cut the thing off and let it drop down, and hopefully it doesn't crash and burn into a million pieces. Okay, well, we've got this thing half welded up, which I guess is half the trouble. Now I got to figure out a way to actually get it down there. So when I was in creative mode, I had just kind of copy and pasted it. I'd say probably where these wheels are kind of flush here. Although I did that on a piece of track where there was none of these blocks either side of it. So I think trying to drop it from here is just going to be, yeah, way too sketchy. So I'm going to have to think of some sort of piston arrangement. So I'm thinking a piston with a landing gear. I could go a piston with a merge block and then a merge block up there and then do it that way. But if I don't think I'm going to be able to fit a piston in here. So, because yeah, below that is wheels and I can't go 2 blocks deep. So if I grab a piston, I don't think I will be able to place it there. Yeah, it won't even let me place it. And then on top of that, I've got to put a landing gear as well. So that's not really going to work out. So let's put this block back. And I think instead, I'll have to put a piston here. So I tried it from that point. So what we'll do is we'll put a block here. And then we'll see what the piston looks like from here. So yeah, that should clear. The question is, can I actually build a landing gear on top of that? Now I don't think I actually have a landing gear on my hotbar, so I just have to kind of find it. And the answer is no. So I'm going to have to go down even one more block. But the weld chip is in the way, so we're going to have to move that. So let's just move this thing over just a tiny touch. How far over can I go? I'll go over as far as I can. We'll give ourselves plenty of room. And stay. Don't move. I hope that doesn't move. Right, one more block. And then we should be able to put our piston in. And then also our landing gear. Okay, so yeah, that looks good. It will clear, so I'll go ahead, I'll grab the stuff for all of these things, and we shall go ahead and weld these up. Okay, cool. So that's all done. Now, auto lock is automatically on these landing gears, so all I need to do is kind of just raise this piston up. So let's change the maximum distance. I'll probably go for like, I don't know, 0.1 to start with. Set that to, we'll go with 0.2. And then I'll just reverse the velocity so it goes upwards. And we'll see if that's enough to lock it down. No, it's not. So I will set the velocity to that. And then I'll just keep increasing the maximum distance until the thing actually locks on. There we go. Alright, so what did we at? 0.5 meters. Okay, cool. So we're locked to the roof. So now when I go ahead and grind this off, then I should just be able to lower this train down. Actually, no, I can't. I can't do that. Because I'm only going to be able to... Oh, actually, no. Can I do that? Yeah, I think it should be alright. So I was thinking this gap here is too short, but I'm essentially going to be pushing the piston down, so it should be okay where it is. The only question is this block here going to clear that? I would really like it. It would really make me feel better if I had a 45-degree block there. So how am I going to put one there though? That's the question. Okay, that should be enough to pin this piston down, so when I grind this block, it's actually still technically attached to the train. So let's put a 45-degree block here just for clearance. Come on. Oh. Okay, that was annoying. And there we go. So I'll just go ahead and grind all these blocks away. And then we should be able to grind this block away, and then this projector as well. So let's get rid of that, this. We'll get rid of all these blocks, why not? and then we should be able to just lower this train down. So the question is, what distance do I need it to be? I'm going to set the maximum distance here to like, let's go for about 8 meters and see how far down it pushes this thing. It might actually be too far. Alright, let's decrease that to about that. Let's go 4.5. 4.7. Where are we? I think we're actually pretty close. So probably 5. Yep, that should do. I think I'll go 5 meters. So I'll reverse it, and then we'll go. Yeah, and then we'll go forward again. Fantastic. Okay, so now I think I'll just kind of grind the piston away, and the head should still be attached to this landing gear, and then this structure should be free. I think that's going to be the best way to do it. So let's try this out and see what happens. There we go. Fantastic. And we have no clearance issues down here. No damage. No clang.
Inventory full.
But we do have a full inventory. Alright, so now this thing is actually on the tracks. I guess it's a good time to check if the thing will actually move. So in order to do that, I need to go ahead and build some sort of a cockpit so that we can actually drive this thing. So we'll just go for one of these things, I guess. It'll be as good as anything else. I'll probably just, I might put it in the middle, because I dare say, actually I might put it somewhere towards the back, because I dare say I'm going to have a lot of welding equipment up the front to actually weld this tunnel, maybe even parts of this train station if I'm lucky. Whoa, okay, we need to adjust the power of these wheels. So I believe, see, I didn't save this. I think I set this to like 10% in my series. Even that's a bit too fast. So maybe let's set the strength here or the power to 5%. Yeah, that's a little bit smoother. And I've got to be careful here because I just realized the welding ship is there. So, alright, fantastic. So at least we have a successful horizontal motion. So now we just need to sort out these vertical wheels. I believe it was negative 0.25. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that was where it was actually touching the walls. But I do believe I need to dial up the friction of these things as well. What is the friction? 95%. Oh wait, no, sorry, they're the wrong wheels. Let's go for these ones here. What is the friction? Yeah, 0%. That's what I thought. Let's go for 85%. That should be enough, but the wheels still aren't turning. Oh, now they are, kind of. Let's move the train further forward a little bit. Actually, I probably want it to be about here so that we can start building out the welders and stuff like that. So let's put the parking brake on. Fantastic. And let's move our little mining ship out the way and park it back up again. Alright, so I think I'm going to go and turn the projector back on just as a kind of guide to see. You know what though?
Fuel low.
Really? I'm going to turn the lights off this thing because it is quite annoying every time I fly past this. There we go, that's a little bit better. Let me grab some fuel and energy while I'm here. Okay, so there we go. Projection is now back on. So I'll probably move this thing a little bit further forward just so I can get a decent idea of where I actually need to place these welders. So I think that should probably be good enough. About there. There we go. We're kind of right on the edge. So I think the first welder I'm going to tackle is the one down the bottom. I kind of realized though when I was actually going ahead and welding this stuff up, I probably didn't need all of the blocks that are kind of sitting here. So I honestly think this thing is going to struggle to weld that. And also I should probably mention, I know a lot of people kind of suggested, why don't I just let the build and repair finish this thing up? I don't know, I kind of want the challenge of building something that will weld this up for me, but not exactly using build and repair, if that makes sense. I just kind of realized with that welding ship parked there, I can't access that connector anymore. So that's making my life a little bit more difficult. So I believe a welder is what, 2 blocks tall? Yeah, so we could place one there like that. So I don't know if that's even going to have the range that I want. The only other way I could make the range different is if I went ahead and put it on a piston. So yeah, there is that option. I don't know if I want to do that though. So yeah, it's really, I really won't know until I actually start welding stuff up how good it is. So this is going to be a little bit more difficult than what I probably thought it would be. So I would like it to go down further. So maybe instead we can get rid of it, get rid of that, get rid of that, and then just put a junction there, and then put a piston down, and then underneath that piston we'll put the welder. So we could do something like that, and then we can just lower the piston down a little bit. But honestly, that is much further down than what it was before, so I think that's going to work out quite well. The only thing is I would like to have a welder about up here somewhere. So in fact, I think the welder's going to need to be around about at this point. So probably what I want to do is, how much further do I need that welder to be? Quite a bit. Now I don't know if I'll be able to do that with the welder being static, but I guess we can give it a try. So we've got 2 blocks there. So I could put a welder, I guess, here. And it is quite close, although I would like it to be further that way. So that's a bit annoying. Actually, which way are the conveyor ports on these welders? That's what I would like to know. Okay, so they're going that way, so I could even put one here as well. Then I'm pretty sure I've got a conveyor on the back, so we could put one there. We could put one there, but don't think that's really going to work out too well. So this one would probably have to be like this, and because there's a conveyor junction there, that one will work. And maybe we could put one on the roof like this, put like multiple like that, all next to each other. Although should probably put them the other way around so the conveyor ports actually line up. So one there, one there, one there, and then we just kind of need to replicate the same thing on the other side. I would like to have a welder here though, so don't know how I'm going to do that one. Maybe we place one, I guess, but here's the problem. I've got to make sure that the blocks that these welders are trying to weld up here at the front are actually able to be welded up when it kind of gets around to it, if that makes sense. So I might replace that conveyor junction with this welder here. So let's get rid of that. Let's put in some blocks here, just so that everything holds when I go and grind this away. And then we'll put in a welder like this. So I want them to kind of be all in one line. And like I said, the reason for that is that if they're all kind of in a line, then they're all welding up blocks at the same time. If I've got a welder way out the front here, it's not going to be able to weld up a block because the blocks behind it that are needed to support that block aren't welded up. So I've got to try and get them all in the same line as much as possible. So, alright, I'm going to replicate this thing on the other side, and maybe we can load up some steel plates into this thing and just test and see how well this thing actually works. Okay, so I've got about as many welders as I think I can get in here. I've got a bit of a gap here, but I've got this welder that I've put behind that will hopefully weld up this block here. So that area should be covered. I think this area will be covered by these welders. This welder here should hopefully do a pretty good job of welding everything up here. Perhaps I could place another one a little bit further up, but I think these welders here will be fine. I've put another welder here as well, so that it hopefully gets this part. And then I've gone ahead and also put in a welder behind here, which will hopefully get the majority of this area here, and hopefully all of these welders combined will will hopefully weld up everything that we need them to weld up. Although, to be honest, I'm not too fussed if they do miss certain things. I know they're probably going to miss the blocks behind these blocks, but that's okay. I am going to use build and repair to kind of get around that issue. And this Z fighting, man, this is crazy. I put these wheels on because I thought they looked a little bit more discreet, but now I'm kind of, and you know, I kind of postulated that I could cover these a little bit easier, but now I'm kind of regretting my decision because this Z fighting is just absolutely crazy. And if you go ahead and place a block here, you can still see it. So essentially I've got to put blocks all the way around to cover it. So I may even go ahead and change these wheels out for the what do they call them? The Wasteland wheels. I don't know what they're called, but are they off-road ones? Yeah, so, alright, okay, so as you can see, also I've put a conveyor tube all the way to the back here. So I'm going to put most of my cargo storage, I think, here. I'm not going to go too crazy. I don't think we're going to go for like a big, large cargo container. I think that's probably a little bit excessive, because you can hold about 5,000 steel plates in a small cargo container. So I think if we have about 6 of them, then that should hopefully be enough for what we need. So that's what, yeah, like 30,000 steel plates. That should probably get us quite far down this tunnel. Although it would be interesting to see. I believe at the start, before we started doing this station, we had about 10,000, no, we had 50,000 steel plates, and that wasn't even including what I already had in my inventory. So I wonder how many we've got now. So we've got 17,000 steel plates. Am I actually constructing more? I might have actually built some more. I could have sworn we only had 10,000 left. So to build this station was probably between 30 and 40,000 steel plates. So I think this tunnel, yeah, 30,000 steel plates should at least get us halfway down this tunnel. And I also need to go through and drill these parts out here because, yeah, obviously, as you can see, it's indented. And I do suspect there's going to be a lot of missed blocks by this welder. It's just not going to be able to get in there to get those things welded up. Although I would be happy to be proven wrong. So we're just going to have to get this thing welded up and see what it itself can weld up. Okay, and there we have it. So the worm train welding thingy-majig is now complete. I really don't know what to call it, but yeah, that seems like an apt description for this thing. So now I got to think about a way to actually get this docked up. Although, to be honest with you, I should probably consider drilling out these areas first and revealing the blocks that sit behind these beam blocks. Should probably get that done, so at least, you know, these welders have a chance of actually getting these blocks. I mean, they'll still get them, but once these blocks are welded up, it's going to be a lot more difficult to drill things out behind them. Now, I'm not going to do a third-party time-lapse on this one, because, yeah, it's pretty boring. Okay, so I have cleared out everything in this tunnel, so well, as far as I know, there is no pieces of voxel kind of sticking through, so that's quite nice. I also went ahead and dug out these channels here so that we have our lights. Oh no, no, no! This is going to be very painful to try and get back. Ah, I did it! Awesome! Oh, I just noticed there's a block there that's not finished. Yeah, I was probably going to drive myself crazy trying to find that later on when I go to test this thing to be airtight, but oh well, you get that. Let's get started. Now, I did put the control seat here on the top, although I was just thinking maybe it would be really cool and totally unnecessary if we grabbed ourselves some catwalks. Again, like I said, this is totally unnecessary, but why not? Why not make this thing look a little bit cool and be a little bit cool if we have the ability to do so? So let's just put in some catwalks here, and I think I'm just going to put in like kind of a suspended a suspended control seat here at the front that kind of suspends over what we're trying to weld up. So now here I will need to place in one of these catwalks like that because it's going to be upside down, and then probably just going to put another railing underneath here and then another railing at the top here, and then we can grab ourselves a control seat and we can place one of those bad boys right there, and we'll grind down the old one for the materials and we should be golden, except my inventory is full. Okay, so we got everything welded up. We got our little bull bar as well, so if we encounter anything, we can just run it straight over, hopefully. So yeah, I think this thing is going to work out pretty well. Although, yeah, time will tell exactly how well it is actually going to work. So I might even build a secondary control seat at the back here, just so that it makes it a lot easier to dock this thing up. Now, so this is the next problem. How am I going to dock this thing up? So honestly, with this ship here, I don't want to get rid of it because I'm going to need it to build the station at the other end. There's nowhere really I can place it. I guess I could go ahead and just place it on the other side. No, I can't because the tunnel boring machine is in the way. Okay, so we can't do that either. So my only option really is like, and what I mean is I was thinking about creating a connector here again and then connecting it that way, but I can't move this ship out of the way, so I can't do that. So I think we're just going to have to use this connector here and try and find a way to get that actually connected. But I need to pin this connector down onto the sides here by putting those blocks there, and then we should be able to grind all of this stuff out. Good thing is that because this is a projection, it shouldn't be too hard to revert all of this
critical.
stuff back to what it's supposed to be. So let's grab some conveyor junctions here. I'll just put in junctions because I'm too lazy to put in anything else. Okay, there we go. So I even put the light back. Right, let's get rid of these. Okay, so now we have somewhere to connect to. I'm gonna put a conveyor junction probably here. Then we'll just grab a pipe, I guess, that goes downwards like so. And is it at this level that I need to put the connector? I think it is. I think I put the connector there. Actually no, I think I've got to go down one level again. So let's do that. And now our connector should go to about there, if I am not mistaken. Yep, that's at the right level. So now that's connected to the base, so we should be able to pull materials onto that carriage. Okay, so let's get all this stuff welded up and then move it back and start putting at least some steel plates into this thing and see if this thing is going to work as I hope it is going to. I think it should be fine. I think it should work out pretty well, but yeah, I guess we'll just kind of have to wait and see. Grab materials for that. I just realized I can actually use that connector now. And I guess the reason why I never made this a functional connector in the first place is I didn't really want conveyor tubes or anything there to be behind it, so it's merely just somewhere for the place or for the ship to dock up. Okay, now I did say I was going to place a control seat at the back, didn't I? Oh, it looks like I have no construction components. That's another thing I need to do. I need to make sure we have enough components to get everything that I want to build. So I'm just going to build 10,000 of each of these. And that should hopefully be enough. We'll grab some motors as well. And we are going to need an absolute boatload of steel plates. So I'm probably going to go for 51,000. That should be plenty. So hopefully all of that stuff gets built before we go ahead and start trying to build this tunnel out. Or at least I hope I have enough steel plates to fill this thing before the other ones are manufactured. Alright, so let's just change my view here to third person. Can I actually do that? Why am I stuck? Oh, of course. The welders are... Oh, no. Okay, so obviously these welders are wider than the tracks, so they can't go any further. So I'm going to have to extend this connector out to the tram itself. Alright, so now our connector is extended and it's magnetically attracted to my tram now. So let me put it on the hotbar and get this thing hooked up. Alright, so that should just about do it. Okay, so now we can start moving stuff across to these small cargo containers. Let's disconnect from here because that's going to make it easier to... Do I have the parking... Unlock. Now the thing won't move. So that is annoying. Why is it not moving? Okay, so after a little bit of messing around, I've kind of figured out why this isn't working. So it seems like it is way too back heavy. So if I jump in this seat here and we go to raise the suspension for these. So I think if I raise it... Is it this way? Yeah, so if I raise it this way, and I'll just leave it there for a second and we'll jump out, you can kind of see these back wheels are like, they're not raising at all. But these ones at the back here are actually raising it off the ground. Whereas, as you can see, this is like kind of bottomed out. So, yeah, I need to remove all of the steel plates from here. The question is, am I actually going to be able to build a connector here? Oh, awesome, I can. So at least I can connect this thing up and get all of these steel plates out and then move these cargo containers to the center. How many cargo containers? I might even actually get rid of this front row of 3 and maybe we'll only have like, you know, 6 cargo containers in total, because I am kind of paranoid about the fact that it's like too heavy for this whole setup. So yeah, I got to find the midpoint and then we'll put our cargo containers there. Alright, and there we go. So I actually had to put in, yeah, 4 cargo containers, because it seems like, I don't remember this thing being an odd number or an even number, but there's like, before we get to this flat piece here, or this curved piece, there's 1, 2, 3 blocks there, and then there's 1, 2, 3 blocks this side. So yeah, oh wait, no, sorry, that is a curved block. Oh, well, that was silly of me. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of these 2 then. Yeah, I totally miscalculated that one. Alright, so I'll go with that. That should give us 30,000 steel plates, which should be hopefully enough. I guess we'll just have to kind of play it by ear. So what I'm going to do is just disconnect this thing and then verify that it actually moves now. Okay, cool. So it still actually moves, which is what I want. So the height offset is, no, negative 0.3. Negative 0.3 was, okay, did that clang out and do a whole bunch of damage? I really, really hope it didn't. Okay, well, it looks like we have no damage. Let's have a look down the tunnel. Okay, it looks like we have no damage. As you can see, I was messing around with this for quite a while to figure out why this thing wouldn't move. So, okay, so I've got the suspension set up again. Now we can get this thing connected to the base, and hopefully we can load up some steel plates without everything going pear-shaped. Okay, so at least we are moving now. It is very sluggish. And I think what I'm going to do is raise the horizontal suspension to maybe negative 0.4. Just a little bit. Give it a little bit more traction. So let's see what it looks like on the tracks. It still looks okayish. I might go 0.5 meters or negative 0.5 meters in height on these horizontal wheels. I think that might work out a little bit better. Alright, let's check that out. Yeah, I think that's going to work out a little bit better, and at least it should work quite well once I fill all of these containers with steel plates. So I'm going to wait for all these remaining steel plates to be manufactured and then put them into here, and then I think we are ready to start welding. I don't know if I'll put any construction components in. Maybe I will, so that I can get the lights done. Oh, actually I do. I need construction components and I need interior plates to do all of these blocks here. So they actually need quite a lot. So I need to make sure I put some of those in as well. Okay, so I've got this thing loaded up with pretty much everything I need. So we can pretty much get started with the welding. So what I want to do though first is I probably want to just like test this thing out and see exactly how it goes. The only problem is though, I've noticed that I can't use any sort of third person mode with this seat. So yeah, that is kind of annoying, not gonna lie. And I don't know which connector it is, so I'm just going to use this seat to disconnect. Let's disconnect and then roll this thing back just a little bit. Okay, and let's put the parking brake on. Now I need to group all of the welders, so I'm going to do that. I don't know where this welder is. Oh, yeah, of course. That's the one on the end of the piston. So let's group all of these. So, just welders, I guess. Well, let's call it tram welders. Save that, and then we'll put these on the hotbar as well. Right, okay, so we're pretty much good to go. All I need to do now is put those same welders group on this seat here as well as the connector. Alright, so everything has been added and we are good to go. So I might just pull out the spectator camera here and we can just I just want to run a test for now to see what it's going to do. So I probably want to move this thing back a little bit. I suppose I can just look at how it does just doing this layer. So we'll switch the welders on and we'll just see how we go. At least it's still connected to the base as well, so it will pull materials through the base instead of through this actual thing. Well, it actually did okay-ish. We didn't get these blocks here welded up. I got all of this stuff done. Those are done. The light there isn't done. These blocks here aren't done, although I suspect when we move forward they will probably weld up. I think these welders are maybe a little bit too high. Maybe they should have been on a piston or something like that. So let's move this thing forward a little bit and then see what happens. Well, it seems like it might actually be stuck on the roof. Alright, let's have a look. I don't know if it's stuck on the roof, but it's definitely stuck on something because it doesn't want to move forward anymore. Alright, well, I figured out why this thing is kind of getting stuck. So it's actually getting stuck on this block here from here, but also the entire tram is not centered. So yeah, that's a problem. I need to fix that. So I am probably gonna... Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to fix this, but I'll figure out a way, and then once it is fixed, then we can finally get started. Okay, well, I've finally managed to get this thing unstuck. I've got it reasonably well centered, so now we just have to kind of test it. I did notice that the welders up the top were kind of, yeah, they were dragging against the roof, so I moved them down. And then also what I did is I raised the suspension so that this this distance here is kind of similar to this distance. So hopefully these welders have the range to actually do this. I am, however, concerned about these welders. I'm really worried that they're going to get stuck on these blocks here. So if they do, then I am going to have to put the parking brake on, and I'm going to have to move these ones here closer. So I don't know if that will be enough to get close to those blocks to weld them, but I guess let's just give it a little dry run. I've actually managed to get this cockpit working. I don't know why it wasn't working before, but I guess if it starts working at some point, at least that is kind of sort of a win. So I guess we should be maybe happy with that, I guess. So let's see if this thing actually clears. And yeah, so I think so far it's actually working pretty good. I will admit though, it honestly took me just a stupid amount of time to get this working properly. It was just an absolute pain. I had a lot of issues with Clang. The suspension settings were just really hard to kind of figure out. I'm gonna have to get rid of this block. And yeah, so I think overall it took me about half an hour messing around with this. So I don't know, in hindsight maybe it would have been quicker just to use the weld chip to do all of this, but I guess, you know, at least I learnt a few things by building this thing. Now I don't know why this welder is not welding up these blocks, but this welder on this side is actually welding up blocks. Well, I guess we can only do what we can do, push this thing forward, get as much as we can welded up, and then see where we're at afterwards, and then we'll just get Bob to finish the job for us. Alright, and there we go. So pretty much the entire tunnel is done. There's a few missing blocks. For whatever reason, this row of blocks is missing, even though the blocks behind it are there. These blocks here got missed. But I mean, I think overall it did quite a lot of the work for me, so I can't complain too much, although it looks like these blocks behind here didn't get done. I might actually have to dig that part out a little bit more as well, which is a bit disappointing. I thought I got all of those little points, but yeah, it seems like maybe I didn't, especially here as well. Yeah, I also tried to do some of this station, but yeah, that didn't really work out too well because the thing is kind of lodged on something at the moment. So yeah, I need to unlodge that again, which is not ideal. I just realized I'm about to run out of jetpack. There we go, finally. I actually caught one of those in time. Do I have the materials for that? Oh cool, I do. Anyway guys, that's pretty much all I got time for in this episode of Wasteland Survival. Really hope you enjoyed it. So next week we're probably going to make a start on the next station, and hopefully maybe even we'll have time to make a start on the missile silo itself. So yeah, anyway, really hope you enjoyed the episode, and please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe so that you get a notification every time I release a new video. Alright, thanks guys, and I will see you next time.